Aloha guys, welcome back. This is Ukalele FPV. Today we are going to be doing a review of the Micro Sparrow V2. We are going to go over what comes in the box, some of the features of the camera. We will then get some DVR of the OSD menu. And lastly, we will do a quick side-by-side flight comparison with the Foxeer Micro Aero V2 and the FXT T81 Micro CMOS camera. The first thing that comes in the box is the camera itself. It is nice and purple, relatively small compared to the Foxeer and the T80. As you can see here, it looks like it is a little bit shorter because of the different lens. The lens here is a specialized 2.1 millimeter, definitely bigger than the Foxeer. These micros all seem to have different size lenses, so I'm not sure how interchangeable they are. You'll have to look at each individual camera to be able to do it. Here it's about the same height as the T81, but the T81, being a micro CMOS, is a little bit smaller. In terms of functionality, all these cameras are pretty much the same. The weight of this camera, according to my kitchen scale, is, it says 4 grams right there. It says 5 grams. It's in between 4 and 5. It's switching a little bit back and forth there. Not sure if you can really see it. The specs say that it is supposed to be 4.5 grams, so it kind of makes sense that it's going back and forth, and that's without the wires. We also get a little paper. They don't give an instruction manual, but they give you a website so that you can look it up, and it is a nice little file that you can download if you want. It has all the information. It also comes with a OSD menu controller. It is much like the Foxeer controller and the FXT controller, that it has the buttons. Not sure why they've changed it, but it works just as well. It's almost exactly the same. Then you also have the little wire for the controller as well. It also comes with one of these little metal stands. I don't know if anyone's ever used one. And it comes with a few spare screws and washers in there as well. The wire itself to control the camera, it is very similar to those that go in the Foxeer, though I believe it has one extra pin. Yeah, there's one extra pin in there. As you can see here, they're similar connectors. But it is slightly different. The pinout, this one has a ground and a menu over there. This one shares the OSD menu and the ground. So the wires are slightly different, and they should just make all these the same connectors so that you can interchange them from drone to drone really easily, but I don't know why they do that. It's kind of annoying. But it works as long as you know that you're not going to be changing your drone anytime soon, or you have good soldering skills. And then the other end of the wire, there is the plug for the OSD controller, and then this weird 3 plug if you don't want to do soldering and you need to do a little plugging. They have that. And then this is for your OSD, the voltage in. The specs of this camera are that it is 700 TVL. It's got the 2.1 millimeter. It's an M8, so the field of view is 150 degrees. It is 4.4 by 3 screen ratio format. It comes in NTSC or PAL. You can have a mirror and a flip. It's got OSD. They have these different preset scene settings, and we will go over that in the OSD menu. And then it has wide dynamic range, super wide dynamic range it says, and then there's an auto day and night. The power in is 5 to 36 volts, so you can run it directly off of your battery. And it says that the current, when it's at 5 volts, it takes 120 milliamperes, and at 12 volts it's 50. The plastic, it's made out of ABS, and then the dimensions are 19 by 19 by 17. So it's supposed to be 19 tall, 19 by 19, so it's a square this way, and then it's supposed to be 17 from the back to the tip of the lens. Other than that, there isn't a whole lot to look at, so if you don't mind, we're going to go plug it in and look at the OSD menu. So we have it hooked up to a VTX, the VTX03 by Ishin, and as you see, and it plugs in, you have the little Runcam menu. It says up here at the top, it is NTSC, and then it was saying the preset there. Down here it shows the voltage, the name, and then the on time. It's nice that there's a little OSD so you can have a flight controller without Betaflight OSD. I personally enjoy having Betaflight OSD, but it is a nice feature that they have in there. Here you can see I have the controller. If you press and hold the up button, it should go into the OSD settings. You can change the name. You can set the voltage alarm so it'll flash when it gets to a certain voltage if you're using the voltage reader. You can turn the pilot name, the timer, the voltage, and horizons on or off and change their positions in there. If you press and hold to the left, you can adjust the voltage settings on there. As you can see there, it is flashing. And then change it so that it is at the correct voltage, so you can get the warning at the right time. If you press the right, you can change the presets. There's light tracks, outdoor, indoor, cloudy, twilight, and then personal, which will be your own menus. Just from what I'm looking at, it looks like the image is really well done. It's sharp. I can see everything so far. I think long pressing down does something. It says in the menu that it'll just reset it. So you can reset all the OSD settings if you just press and hold the down button. And then if you press the middle button, we go into the menu. There is picture adjust, which you can flip a horizontal flip, vertical flip, or a horizontal and vertical flip. You can adjust the brightness here, contrast, sharpness, hue, and the color gain. You can also change the white balance here, auto white balance, push, or you can set it yourself so that if there is any blue or whatever, you can change the language, Spanish, Portuguese, French, Dutch, English, Chinese I think that was, I'm not sure. And then you can reset the camera. So the setup menu, the camera menu is very small, easy to work with. And that's really all. So let's get this on a drone and get it out flying and see how it does compared to the others. Here we are comparing the Sparrow versus the Micro Aero V2, and the day was a weird gloomy day. You can see the light transition of the Sparrow 2 definitely beats that of the Micro Aero V2, and I believe the Swift as well. Those are a little bit slower. The CCD cameras I don't know why that happens, but it is amazing what the Sparrow can do in that aspect. What I want you to notice here, even though the image seems to have a purple hue, I don't know why it did that, is how it deforms the image because of the wide field of view. You can see on the bottom left and the top, bottom left and right and the top left, that there are some things in view. That is where it is sitting on top of a skateboard and the frame in the upper left hand side. This deformation is something that you might have to get used to if you are not used to a wide angle. What I want you to notice in this video, even though the colors seem a little off, is the quality of the video. You can see the blades of grass, you can see the leaves, and how it compares to the Micro Aero V2. Looking at the sky, it's not as blown out. You can actually see things a little bit better. And don't worry about the noise in the quad. I was not able to test the FXT T81 because of the noise in the quad, but that is not due to the cameras. That is strictly due to the quad, and the ESCs are noisy, and I didn't have any capacitors or LC filters to get rid of that at the time. On a different day, I took it here. It was a lot sunny, more sunny. You can also see the light transitions again. Again, the Micro Sparrow V2 wins that hands down. When you are flying it, that is important, especially if you are racing, because you want to be able to see the flags, you want to be able to see the gates, and sometimes when you are looking kind of towards the sky, you can easily lose a gate, especially on a cloudy, bright day like this where the sky is almost completely white at certain points. And that is something that the Micro Sparrow V2 does very well at. The image, I like the saturation of it and how it let me feel like I could see a lot more, and especially going through this little course right here where I had to go under the trees and watch out for the rocks under there and miss the tree at the very end. It's a little nerve-wracking if you can't see or if the image is a little bit darker. You can always set the adjustments to that, and it's nice that the Micro Sparrow V2 has some presets if you're going to be flying outdoors or indoors, and it works pretty well. As you watch here, you can notice the lens up there at the top left, so keep that in mind as you are considering what frames you're going to be putting it in. The Micro Sparrow V2 is a lot smaller, as we went over before, so you might be able to do a lot more with it depending on your frame. Like the Alien and all those type of frames, they need bigger cameras, so this tends to be more for the weight conscious or price conscious racers, because these cameras are smaller, lighter, and sometimes a lot cheaper. As for my final thoughts on this camera, I think it is a wonderful camera. For the price of $34 to $36, it is a good bang for your buck. It is definitely better than the Micro Aero or the Runcam Micro Swift, and keep that in mind as it is a little bit more expensive. The colors are fantastic, the image quality is great, and I believe that it is a camera that almost anyone would enjoy. Just keep in mind that the frames that you can use it on are a little bit more limited, and that can play an important role in everything. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. There will be links in the description if you would like to buy it, and please like and subscribe. Aloha.